Introduction to Information Therapy. This is a long overdue talk. Now, before we talk about information therapy, let's look at certain things like distant healing intention. You know what is distant healing intention? That means, okay, I tell my client at 8:30 p.m., you stay there, all right? Just relax. And then I will send my intention to you. I may be in Malaysia, you are in Singapore, or in Hong Kong, or in Taiwan, Brazil, South Africa, it doesn't matter. At that moment, you just sit down quietly, I send my intention over. Okay, so this is one form of distant healing intention. But nowadays, the more common ones are the one that is conducted through Skype, Zoom, etc. Now, that means agreed time, you go on Skype. I see you, you see me. Okay? Then I send qi, or I send intention. All right? Or over Zoom is exactly the same thing. Okay? So this is what we call distant healing. Now, a very common question here. If you question whether this is effective or not, then you have to first ask yourself, is it not effective? Why would it go on for so long? Practically, I see my clients every day, either on Skype or Zoom, honestly, right? For the past how many years, I can't remember. Okay, now the common question here is, now, I know it works, but can you explain to me how it works? If you want something to change, you need energy. And you know that energy cannot travel from here to America just like this. So where the energy comes from? That's the question. Where the energy comes from in a distant healing. Now, this is the foundation theory. All this is based on what we call information can be converted into energy. All right? Or we simplified it into something like this statement. Consciousness is a form of information. And information can be converted into energy. Now, everybody knows that energy and physical mass can be converted to each other. All right? So if you put that equation there, if you put the statement in a right manner, it will be something like this. Consciousness is part of information. Information can be converted into energy, and energy can be converted into physical mass, and vice versa. All right? E equals to mc squared. Energy can be converted into physical mass, and vice versa. This is modern physics. Right? That is the working mechanism behind atomic energy or nuclear energy. Now, who raised this? Who brought up this idea? I think the first person who raised this was James Maxwell. He talked about this in 1867, that information can be converted into energy. Subsequent to him, there may be some others who have mentioned this, but I was not, I'm not too clear about who. I only recognize those who are notable. And another guy is Robert Jahn. He's the founder of Princeton Engineering Anomalies Research Lab, PEARL. Yeah. Robert Jahn, he proposed that human consciousness can make changes to the physical world non-locally. That means without touching, you can make changes to the physical world. And then Pang Heming, commonly known as Pang Ming, a Qigong scholar, that was back in 1990s, that Pang Heming mentioned this. Some of friends are asking me, why nowadays you call him Pang Heming, not Pang Ming? Well, because Pang Heming is now a professor at Jiangxi Medical University, all right, Jiangxi Chinese Medical University, and he's using his name, his real name, Pang Heming, okay? And then William Tiller mentioned this also. In fact, this equation, this what we call formula, consciousness equal information, or consciousness is a part of information, and information can be converted into energy, and energy can be converted into physical mass, and vice versa. This one was proposed by William Tiller. Now, this is what Robert Jahn did plenty. He did many of such experiments. So what you have here is a random event generator, we call it. So a random event generator, an REG, is something like you can flip a coin 200 times per second. Now we know that when you flip a coin, it's either head or tail. You flip it 10 times, you may get 3 head and 7 tails, right? But if you were to flip it 100,000 times, you probably get 50,000, 50,000. This is distribution probability. Now, so what I did is that, let's say that when it is at rest, the graph is going in the green line, that manner. Look into the graph, the green line. Then you come in one person and say, okay, I want the graph to go up. I focus, go up, 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 up. You get a red line. Come another person, I want the line to go down. I want the graph to go down, 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 down. You're going to get that, what is that color? Purplish color? Purplish color line. I bought this many years ago. It was based on Windows XP, and I tried it before, and it's fun. You can have fun with it. Right? Let it stabilize. You move along a basal line. All right. One person come. You want to go up or down? Okay, you want to go up, go up. Then I challenge you. I want it to down. You send it up, I send it down. All right. So he did many. I mean, this is not the only experiment that Robert did. He did many. Right? This is one of them. This is Masaru Emoto's rice experiment. Masaru Emoto is quite famous. I think everybody knows him. One of his most famous experiments is that he put 2 jars of rice on the table on a corridor of a school. So when the school children pass by, they were asked to go and read out the label there. So it's written, one, I hate you. One, I love you. And you're supposed to read it in the correct manner. All right? I hate you. I love you. Not I hate you and love you. No. You have to read it in a correct manner. And at the end of 27 days, that's a result. Yeah. Now, when he published this, many people said, this is nonsense. This is crap. 2 jars, maybe one is nearer to the sun, one is, shaded or whatever, so you don't get the same results. So one lady did that, and he found that the same, he obtained the same results. So she challenged people, why don't you do it? So if you were to Google now, all right, you go to YouTube and check Masaru Emoto's rice experiments. Many videos there, all giving you the same result. You can try it on your own. Yeah. Now, then we get this very, very powerful paper published in the Nature. Nature is one of the top 2, what you call a scientific journal in the world. So, polystyrene bead. Yeah? Polystyrene bead is so light that if you throw one up, you find that they are floating, going up, down in all directions in what we call Brownian movement before it drops down to the floor. Right? Now in this experiment, everything is done by computer, high-speed camera. So there's a high-speed camera tracking that polystyrene bead. And then they use electrical field to form staircase. when the bead is about to go out of the step, as if it is going down, all right? And one electric field will be sent to block it, to stop it. You look at the picture, it will be something like this. So something like telling the bead, sorry, you don't go this way. You're not supposed to go this way. And they found the bead went up against gravitational force. And the energy required for the bead to climb upward is more than the energy required to send that electric field. The conclusion they made is that information can be converted into energy. Okay, this is a very, very powerful paper. Now, so you're talking about information can be converted into energy. Over here, you're talking about something rather local, right? Masaru's case is you're yelling into the rice, what are called 2 cans of rice or whatever, right? What about distance intention? What about 7,000 miles away? Can you make changes that way? Now, look at it. Creating light 7,300 kilometers away. This is a study to confirm the study that was done previously since 2010, right? This study was done in 2010. Okay, so what they do is that it's called mental entanglement with a photomultiplier, right? Now, so at the end of the experiment, they found that approximately 5% of the burst exceeding 10 photons. That means I have a control, and then I get people to send intention. And these people, 4 of them, they were 7,300 kilometers away. All right. Then we have an agreed schedule. I said, okay, this is the time, send intention. Then I record here. I see the difference. Right? They found that there's approximately 5% of the burst exceeding 10 photons, an increase of 6%. That means it is found that it is positive. When they send an intention, light is registered, photons is being registered by the photomultiplier. All right? So the hypothesis or the confirmation there is that human mind can be entangled at distance with a predefined target. Now, what do you mean by predefined target? Look at how they did the experiment. Photograph is good enough, right? In the experiment, there were 4 what you call experimenter, right? They were shown the photograph. This is actual the actual lab photograph of the actual lab, all right? Photograph of the what you call the device, and then the photograph or the photo multiplier. And this one on the right hand side here, the photo multiplier. I'm not too sure whether this is the model, but the lab is the right one. Okay, so they just have to look at it. You know, this is the lab. Okay, inside the lab it is something like this. This is a photo multiplier that we put inside there. Okay, now you relax and think that the device, the photo multiplier, is glowing inside. Okay, now when come the time that we say think, you think. Okay, then they did the experiment this way and then found it's positive. So that's the reason why this is a strong support for distance healing intention. Your intention 7,300 kilometers away, it doesn't matter. They just need to take a look at the photograph. Yeah. This is one experiment done by William Tiller, a very powerful one. So this man, Professor Tiller, he invented something that we call intention host device. So this device can host intention. So something like it can record intention. It's actually an oscillator. He did not reveal up till now. He has yet to reveal how exactly this system works. So this is an oscillator. Okay. Meditators, 4 meditators will sit down and then give intention, right? So this IHD, intention host device, will record the intention. Okay, let's say the intention is for the pH of water to go up, or for the pH of water to go down, right? Then with this device, I place inside a box, and water, beaker of water inside the box, and the pH of water is being measured real time over 72 hours. When the intention, if the intention is for the pH to go up, the pH will go up. If the intention is for the pH to go down, the pH will go down. So now, how good or beautiful is this experiment? Is that you can take this device, this IHD, to any lab you like and repeat the experiment. You get the same result. Okay? So this is one very, very strong, what you call evidence that the human intention can be stored and played back to bring out the results. Now, this one is a very, very interesting experiment. Particles, when they go very, very small, all right, primary particles, and something like when you go beyond in the region of micron, they go into what we call a quantum state. They show wave or particle properties. All particles, they have that duality of either a wave, what we call acting like a wave and also as a particle. Now, look at the picture on the left. So they use an electron gun to shoot electron through 2 slits. So 1 electron at a time. 1 electron at a time. Now, at the end of it, what you see on the screen is the overlapping. So the electron, even though you are sending one after another, they behave in a wave manner, and they overlap, and they form that picture there, right? Funny thing happens when someone is looking at the screen. So this is called an observer. When an observer is observing, what happens is that the wave property of the electron collapses. No more overlapping. You only get 2 lines at the back there. How this experiment was done, it was done over internet. You go onto a website, you click onto it, you enter into it. All right, and they will prompt you. Now you focus. Then you focus onto the screen. Now you stop. Then you stop. All right. There were more than how many 1,500 people who went up to do this experiment over a period of nearly 2 years, and it is a study done compared with the control by robot. A Linux robot, a computer program, okay? And they achieve the results that is 5 sigma status. What do you mean by 5 sigma status? That means this this experiment that proves that human intention can make changes to physical world. Human intention can collapse the wave property of electron. All right, so human intention can make changes to physical world. This experiment has reached a status of 5 sigma. And what is 5 sigma? Simply put, if you were to repeat this experiment 3.5 million times, only then one may not produce the same result. This is very, very, very close to 100%. And something very interesting in the, what you call in the experiments, right? This is one experiment done by Dr. Dean Radin, right? Radin also found that meditators, they can get a result 2.5 times more powerful than ordinary people. The better you are able to focus, the better the result is going to be. Okay? Now, let's look at quantum entanglement. What is quantum entanglement? Let's say I have one photon, and then I use a device to split it into two. So now I have two identical photons. Identical photons or identical electrons, they will always entangle with each other. What do you mean by entangle? That means if I am observing this, what you call identical proton, one of the two, right? If I'm observing one, there will be changes. What kind of changes? The moment I observe this change, the other one can be very far away, can be miles and miles away in the outer space. It will also change. Up until today, nobody can give a theory or explanation on why this is happening. This is called quantum entanglement. When you have identical photons or identical electrons, right, or what we call particles, very, very small particle, yeah. If they are identical, you separate them far, far away. If you observe one, observe only, it will change. All right. Let's say the rotation was something like this. When you observe, the rotation will tilt. It will go the other way. And the moment this one change, this one will also change. There's no such thing that this one changed first, then this one changed later. No, they change at the same time. Even though you're only observing one, not the other one, not two together. So if I were to observe this one, also the same thing. So this is something that up until now, nobody understands. That's the reason why Albert Einstein was extremely honest. He said, this is spooky action at a distance. He couldn't understand it. He couldn't explain it. So he said, this is spooky action at a distance. And over how many years now, nobody can explain this, right? Now, have you heard of quantum teleportation? Now everybody is worried about, America is worried about Xi Jinping tapping his American phone. What do you call, I'm worried about you tapping my phone and you are worried about me tapping your phone, right? So one of the very important things about this quantum teleportation or quantum communication is that you can't tap it. The moment somebody else observes whatever message that I sent, it will change, remember? If you observe it, it will change. So this is something that is very, very important, and they're developing it now, right? We do not want to explain this one too much because it's rather complex. Let's look at something more fun. This is what we call identical twins. There are many stories about identical twins. Now, the experiences happen. The entanglement between what you call identical twins happen. But up until now, there's no scientific what they call data on it. There's this story about this man always tell the son, get a phone, get a phone. Really? Why? No, your uncle is going to call. Within 10 seconds, the uncle will call. The brother, younger brother of his father will call. See? Every time, no miss. Okay? And then there was this story of this mother was telling the son that, hey, your twin brother is having an accident at school. I'm going to the school to see him. Then the son said, no, mom, he's all right. He's okay. There's no problem with him, not him. How do you know? I know. That's it, I know. Mom went to the school. Oh, sorry. Same name, but not your son. See? So they somehow they are entangled. They know what is happening. And there's one incident that an old lady in Australia found that, woke up one morning and thought, oh, what happened to my knees? So painful. Went to the doctor, they couldn't find anything else. And then later that evening, the sister called from UK. Hey, I might not be able to see you next month because I had a bad fall this morning. I broke my knee. Twin sister, identical twins. So they entangle. Now, we have talked so much about this, what we call the basis, the theory, and all this. Now look at some very interesting experiment. This is globally broadcast autism intention experiment by Dr. William Tiller. Okay, so what he did was something rather simple. The name and address of 44 children were placed on the computer screen, right? And they scroll. 1 minute, next one. 1 minute, next one. And then, now the blue box here in front of the computer is the IHD, intention host device. This device is broadcasting that information 24 hourly. Okay, and then what was the information recorded for the children? Now, this experiment, he did it for both parents and children, but our focus is more on children, right? Now, for children to become more easily able to function here in space and time, simply put, means these autistic children to be normal. For parents may readily reduce and or eliminate their daily stresses related to parenting, right? So this intention statement, plus a computer, list of 44 names and addresses scrolls continuously at 1 minute per cycle, all right? One set for children, one set for parents. We just focus onto the children, yeah? Conclusions of autism study by Tiller, global board from Arizona side to both near and very distant location. Now, some next to Arizona, some in Netherlands, some in one in New Zealand. So not all the children are in America; they are all over the world. Yeah, has been successful at the 4-month level. Both children and parents are joyful at the positive results experienced to date. So this is one experiment to conclude that you can store information, you can store intention broadcast to the names of children or parents to make changes. You can store the intention in a device, broadcast it to the names and bring changes to the people listed there. All right? Now we are talking about iTherapy. In iTherapy, it is something like entanglement. Okay? What we need is the photograph of our client. All right? Now, that's it, people with problems. We started we started on children, right? Autistic children. And well, slowly we branched into many other illnesses also. So let's say we have people with problems, we need their photograph. Okay, this is the first step, very important. Why we use photograph? Because we conclude that the face can best represent a person. There can be many Tom, Dick, and Harry. But if you show the photograph of the Tom that you're talking about, Tom Jones, let's say, you show the photograph of Tom Jones, you know that this is Tom Jones. This is not Tom somebody else. Okay, so that's the reason why we use photograph. And then the photograph, by looking at the photograph, we send intention. Now, we don't have IHD. We don't have that oscillator. What we do is that we use sound as the medium or the carrier for the information. And what are you saying? Are you chanting something else? No. We just send intention. And then the recorder will be on, right? What you call the mind will be there, recording the sound. What sound? It is a hissing sound of the computer fan, all right, or from the aircon. So our intention is riding on the sound and being recorded. Okay, and there are three of us. Okay, so let's say either one of us was sending information, right? And then this will be recorded. Subsequently, this recorded file will be played back 24-hourly to the photograph of the client. So entanglement will be there. The information sent to the photograph will entangle with the real person. Now, these are the things that we do, right? These are the boxes and all that. Sometimes we say put him in a box or put her in the box. Our autism evaluation, we try to run a what we call a clinical study on autism. That was in 2016. Initially, we tried to use these autism treatment evaluation chart, ATAC, which was used by Tiller. But then we found that parents were complaining because there were 77 points inside, too long. So they refused. So we sort of come up with this, our 6 aspects: socialization ability, self-control, confidence and independence, learning ability, expression ability, vitality and health. Some may question, why vitality and health? In fact, many of these autistic children, they have what we call a urination control problem. They have bladder control problem, right? So this is a study, right? We managed to get 6 boys. Yes, not easy to get clients. We managed to get 6. And this is the results, the point, the score, and all that. I know it is a little bit confusing to read here. So let's move on to this. The results: 5 reported improvements in the 6 points, right? All 6 points, 5 of them reported improvement. Subject 4 did not show any improvement in confidence and independence and vitality and health, but improved in other areas. Now, look carefully. This one enrolled when, and then the results was concluded at the end of 1 month, not 4 months. Over this one we did, it's only 1 month. Subject 4 and 6 stopped 12 months later. The clients, the parents and all that, they saw the results. They were very happy with the results. And we did not do what Pilar did. I do not know why he stopped that one. At the end of the study, that's it, no more. This one we continue. So the subject, they follow. Yeah, the children, they continue to what they call use the programs. 4 and 6 stopped 12 months later. Subject 2 stopped 21 months later. Parents notifying not seeing changes in the past 1 month. Right now, all the rest have continued with iTherapy until now. That was in December 2018. Feedback. Now, we have how many clients so far? Children ASD, more than 150 series. And so far, there is none that who reported saying that, oh, I don't see any results. Right? Those who are very young, normally within 1 week. Young, below 3, normally within 1 week, we see results. Right? Those who are older, maybe 1 month. But normally within the first 2 weeks, you see results. Clear cut. Yeah. For the first time in his life, he said, "Mom, last night, he can now control bladder and pee normally in the bathroom." This is a 6-year-old Italian boy. I think it was 2 months into information therapy. All right. Feedback, this might be an unnoted or something out of our knowledge, but it is indeed a piece of jam to our kid. Results are satisfying, and we will continue with it. The boy is still with us after 2 years. Yeah. Okay. Let's look at dementia. Yeah. Dementia. We also did a study on dementia. Dementia, there are many stages. Stage 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Normal adults, you don't have any functional decline. Early Alzheimer's, noticeable deficit in demanding job situation, blah, 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 all this. Yeah, you can look up the internet for this. Now, dementia record, we have, during then we had 8 patients. Okay. If you look at it here, 78, 79, 78, 88, 77, 77, 63, one quite young, 63. So the date when they started, where they stopped. GDS is global decline score, right? So if you start with the highest score of 7, then it's really very, very bad. So this is GDS after 1 month, after 3 months, after 6 months, after 2 years. You see the improvement. Yeah. Now, conclusion for dementia. All showed improvement within 1 to 3 months. All clients. Those who started at a lower GDS recovered faster and better. This is similar to autism, that all of them you see results. Yeah. Something very, very interesting happened in our what you call treatment or program for dementia patients. Okay, now there was this man, old man, 78. We apply MMSE, mini memory status evaluation. Yeah, so this is commonly used by neurologists to evaluate the condition, the mental condition of a patient. So we apply MMSE that's patient number 8 just now. Improved from 14, a score of 14 on day 1 to 23 on day 34. After 1 month, he improved to what you call 34. On 23, improved to the score to 23 on day 34 after 1 month. Now, moderate dementia to stage 3 mild cognitive impairment. That means clear-cut improvement. And then, day 71, he fell, admitted to hospital, found that he had some low sodium chloride in his blood, prostate problem. When you have low sodium chloride, normally you are in confusion. Okay, he pressed and MMS dropped to 18, right? Day 140, diagnosed with Parkinsonism, put on Madopa and score dropped further to 15. And we started iTherapy we added a program for Parkinsonism for him. And day 166, he returned to 23, all right? This is a very, very interesting case because this man is very fortunate to have a very filial daughter who kept providing us feedback. The last month when I spoke to the daughter, because the daughter is not staying together with the father, so she finally sort of concluded or accepted what I've told her. And I said that your father is having selective dementia. The old man actually recovered quite well, but he refused to do the chores. That during his very bad moment, the wife was the one who did it for him by switching on the television. All of a sudden, he doesn't know how to operate. Taking his medicine, he can't remember. And that was one evening when the wife has to attend a very important wedding. You know, Chinese tradition, Chinese. So this is one important wedding that she's a senior, she must attend. So, but the wife was afraid that the husband might get into some problem. So call the daughter, you come and take a look at your father, okay? So that evening, the father kept asking the daughter, when is your mom coming back, right? And then come the time to take the medicine, the daughter forgot to remind the father. But she saw the father taking the medicine himself, switching on television himself. Then she wrote me a message saying that my father, it's like what you said, having selective dementia. Now, why now this dementia, because we also have a case whereby the father recovered so well that the children got worried. And the children came to me and said that, hey, Mr. Wei, can you do something? I said, what? You see, my father was a big bully to my mother. You know? And when they were young, during their younger days, she would even beat up my mother. Now, he's coming back, you know. We don't want this. I said, I cannot do this. I cannot change his mentality. I cannot change the character. He said, now he knows how to shower, everything, you know, no problem really. But his personality is back. And this is something that we don't want. So we had several discussions came, and then the mother came also and was crying. He said, okay, it is still better than cleaning him up 6 or 7 times a day because he couldn't control his pee and poo and all this. Anytime he likes, he just, you know, pee in the pants and all this. So at least now I don't have to do this. But slowly, the old character came back. And the son called me up one day, and then we had a discussion again, and I said, please stop the program. Stop the program. The old man deteriorated back. over 6 months, slowly. And the last time I saw the son, about 2 months ago, he said, now it's almost like previously. That is stopped for nearly 18 months, I think. He said, now it's more or less like previous condition. So we look into that. We started to, this is not only 2 cases. There are many, many cases that were having similar problems. So we started to look up literatures. And then we found this paper. Patient's personality, this high neuroticism and low agreeableness were associated with more advanced spread of tangles in limbic and neurocortical regions. Simply put, people who have that kind of, they say it, toxic characteristics, chances of them developing dementia is much higher. This was a study done over a period of many years, 1984 to 2012. All right, they actually examined the what they call the corpse. All right, after the patient died, they examined the what they call the plaque in the brain. So this is a very accurate study. They tracked the patients when they were still alive, right? So parents' personalities return to a level before developing dementia, and we found that unbearable. This becomes rather common, and because of that, now when those people who are in dementia, they can't come to us and say, hey, I want to sign up for iTherapy. All right, it is always the what we call the family members. So every time they turn up, we show them the paper. 80% of family members do not wish to sign up on learning possible outcome. You might say that this is bizarre. No. If you are in our shoes, then you know that this is true. No joke. Now, so what is the solution? I think the solution is to start them young. Start them early, not to start them young. Start them early. All right? They have to practice Qigong. They have to know how to manage their emotions early. Then things may be different, right? Easier to handle. We have a conclusion, okay? We have more than 150 children and 60 adults of all ages. None has reported any adverse reaction. Promising. iTherapy is extremely promising. Succeeded to reverse the condition of 8 dementia patients during what they call the paper that we published. That was in December 2018. All autism cases shown positive development. Convenient. Patients are not required to turn up regularly. Those who see autistic children, they'll understand this. It's a big, big headache. One parent actually told me that, that every week I got to take my son to go for occupational therapy, speech therapy, and then neurofeedback. Every week, 3, 1 each. One is 1 hour. Traveling time, waiting time, everything, it would take me 4 hours. He said, I'm lucky because my husband, well, is a successful businessman. But I simply don't have the life and the time. 4 hours, 3 times a week, I have to do that. Take my son here and there. And I have 3 children. Sometimes I really do not know how to balance it up. And I'm very thankful because of this program that you see the results. Serious. Convenience is very important to the parents. Parents need not have to send them here. Actually, we have clients all over the world. We see them on Skype, on Zoom, that's good enough. Yeah. Cost effective. The cost of running iTherapy for a dementia patient and autistic children is a fraction of the cost of medication. Yeah. We did quite well that the neurological department of Penang Hospital actually invited us to give a talk during the holistic symposium in Penang. That was April this year. All right. In the picture here, the three of them are top neurologists in Malaysia. Yeah, Dr. Yao, Dr. Sam, Dr. Asman. Yeah. Now, a common question is why information therapy is particularly effective on neurological cases. We believe it is because that we all know that the brain is protected by what we call a blood-brain barrier. And blood-brain barrier is selectively determining what is allowed to go through it to reach the brain. So let's say this medicine is good for the brain, right? Let's say you have an infection inside the brain. So you inject antibiotic. Arriving there, the blood-brain barrier found out, no, I don't recognize this one. I don't think this is good. So antibiotic will not be able to penetrate through. Some drugs, if the blood-brain barrier finds that this is not good, the medicine will not be able to penetrate through, right? But nothing can stop information. Remember, 7,300 kilometers away, you send intention, goes up, the photo multiplier goes up. See, nothing can stop information. And that's the reason why we believe, that's the reason why iTherapy is particularly effective on neurological cases. Now, these are our therapists, all right? I hope you can recognize me. On the left, this is the middle one is Sue Basie, the one is Irma Van Tuyl. Many times, many people ask me, hey, why only 3 of you? Say, you think the people who are really serious in this, we need you to practice. And you have to understand that as a therapist, you are sending information. I have trained many Qigong therapists. Honestly, there are many who are able to diagnose easily. I always say this, to be able to diagnose is one thing. To be able to diagnose and then settle the problem, that's another issue. So your ability to read is one thing. Your ability to settle issue is another issue. And this one you are talking about sending information. When you are sending information, then you have, if you are also carrying bad information, what is going to happen? So that's the reason why we are very demanding on this, on what we call selecting our people and training our people for information therapy. Yeah, but well, I hope by the end of this year we will get another 3 or 4. Yeah. Thank you. Now, those who know me very well, they understand that the slides were not done by me. Not possible. Give me another 10 years old, I can't present something else, what we call in such a nice manner. It was the work of Casper Van Tuyl, right? Thank you. Now, thank you for watching. Bye-bye.